This morning on Daybreak, a ruling is expected as the only remaining abortion clinic in Missouri could be shut down by the end of the day.
And after severe weather cut through Wheatland last week, we look at the recovery efforts from Lucas Oil Speedway.
Plus, Missouri State is making a notable name change to one of its more notable buildings on campus. We'll have these stories and more coming your way this morning on Daybreak.
Good morning and thanks for waking up with us. It's Friday, May 31st. I'm Lauren Barnes.
And I'm Joe Morano. We are ready to get after it. End of the week, end of the month as well. And once I hear June, I really start thinking summer, you know?
Yeah, you haven't been feeling that way?
I have lately. It's been pretty nice, but you know, June makes it more official in my mind, you know?
Well, that's right. I mean, we can ask our expert here, but it's not officially summer even, is it?
No, not until June 21st. So actually...
Meteorological summer. Yeah,
yes,
no, you're about to throw that out there.
I'm so proud of him. Yeah, so meteorological summer starts June 1st because for weather records for the seasons, we do the full months.
That's right.
It's just weird for us to start on the 21st for our records. So we do all of June, July, and August for the summer. But astronomical summer starts June 21st, and that's when the sun, the tilt of the earth, and the sun.
That's when all the science stuff happens.
Right.
But he's onto something with the June 1st thing.
It's because I've blabbed about it enough. That's why.
She blabs enough.
Catches on.
Okay, right. Can you blab some more for us?
Yeah, blab some more about today. A little breezy yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, and we're quiet this morning. Clear skies out in Springfield. Temperatures are warm in the 60s, but it's really pleasant out there. We've got these dew points in the 50s, so it's pretty crisp out there this morning with clear skies and a high of a temperature of 61. It's 58 in Monette, 59 in Mountain Grove, and 59 in West Plains. Dew points are in the middle 50s, even some lower 50s. So that's very different than we've been the last couple of days. It is very comfortable out there this morning with these dew points in the 50s. It's some of that open window weather. We've got dry conditions on the roads, some green light as you head out to work today and then even on your way home. Lots of sunshine this afternoon and beautiful at the pool. We're looking at temperatures in the lower 80s, a very high UV index of 9. As you fire up the barbecue tonight, we'll keep things pretty quiet, mostly sunny. Temperatures in the lower 80s by 5 o'clock. Still mostly clear with temperatures in the 70s by this evening. Now tomorrow we do have a chance for some thunderstorms to roll through late in the evening with a severe threat. Details on this coming up in 10 minutes.
We begin with our top story to start off your Friday. Missouri could become the only state in the U.S. without a clinic for abortions. A judge is expected to make a ruling before the deadline, which is today. The Missouri Health Department says it has concerns about patient safety and legal violations at the Planned Parenthood in St. Louis. The state looked into the clinic after a patient complaint in April. The clinic requested the case be taken on by a St. Louis circuit judge to have a temporary license renewal to keep performing abortions. Arguments were heard yesterday on that matter. An advocate with Planned Parenthood says the service provider has gone above and beyond to accommodate the state.
The high-quality health care provider that Planned Parenthood has bent over backwards to try and comply with, frankly, medically unnecessary and medically inappropriate rules by the state, only to have them changed. And that is what was at issue today.
So, of course, you can follow along on our website, ozarksfirst.com, for the latest on this today. Now, if the state does not grant the renewal, the clinic would still be able to provide non-abortion health services.
All right, we are now 11 days removed after strong storms took on the racetrack over in Wheatland, Missouri, and the cleanup for it does continue. General Manager of Lucas Oil Speedway, Danny Lorton, says the three main parts to take damage were the dirt track, the campgrounds, and the off-road track, with the grandstands reduced to twisted steel and shrapnel. The goal is reopening that area next year. But as for the dirt track, they're actually hoping to have that up and ready by next weekend because they have a race set for June 8th. Lorton says he appreciates all the help and support, but now Wheatland needs help beyond Lucas Oil.
A lot of people have reached out to us wanting to help us out, but I'd like to ask them if they would reach out to the city of Wheatland, to maybe contact City Hall and offer their services there, volunteer or make a donations, because there's a lot of people in town that can't afford to clean up. They could use the money to help to get the yards and trees and debris cleaned up in their areas. It's more, we need the community help more than what we need here.
We put crime into focus for you this morning as a Pulaski County man is in serious condition after he was shot yesterday. It happened in the 26,000 block of Sherwood Lane. 3 people are in custody for questioning. The investigation is open.
We've got an update on the Brad Jennings case out of Buffalo, Missouri. He was set free in 2018 after serving more than 8 years in the 2006 death of his wife, Lisa. A Rolla judge has now determined Jennings had been wrongfully convicted based largely on the testimony of Highway Patrol Detective Dan Nash. The death of Lisa Jennings was initially ruled a suicide until Nash claimed otherwise. According to the News Leader, this week, a federal judge allowed lawyers for Jennings to include Nash's former supervisor, George Knowles, in the lawsuit seeking justice for Jennings. His attorneys say newly discovered evidence suggests Knowles failed to adequately supervise Nash during the investigation and that Knowles allegedly helped Nash cover up the misconduct. Knowles is now retired from the Highway Patrol, but a News Leader call out to him went unanswered.
Some more local news. It's the end of an era at Missouri State University, the school looking for a new donor and therefore a new name for JQH Arena. John Q. Hammonds has had his name on the building for 11 years. He donated more than $24 million to help put together the facility. A recent bankruptcy settlement between the trust and JD Holdings is the reason behind the change. Signs outside the arena will be removed starting next Monday, June 3rd. Executive Director of the MSU Foundation, Brent Dunn, knows the late JQH would not be happy to hear this.
It's sad because this is something Mr. Hammonds would not have wanted. He cared so much for the university and for this facility. We do have to make payments for the bond. That's why we're in this type of situation.
The estimated cost for removing the outdoor signs is more than $20,000. The university hopes to finish the naming process within the next year and could make several $1 million with a new name sponsor. The executive director for the MSU Foundation, Brent Dunn, reiterates that.
And we move on now this morning. Scary or interesting moment, depending on how you look at it, as an Aurora woman came home this week to find a black bear in her yard. Never want to see that. This was in a neighborhood near Rinker and St. Louis streets. Police and officers with the Conservation Department responded and blocked off the area while they waited to see what the bear would do. It's still not clear where that came from, but conservation agents say it was likely looking for food and it was in the tree 2 days and eventually came down on its own. Olivia Naylor watched the whole ordeal on her own porch.
A conservation officer came up to me and was like, "Man, there's a black bear in your tree in your yard." I was like, "Are you kidding me? We're in the middle of Aurora." So yeah, I was standing up there and there's people everywhere, and so I watched it from my porch until it came down.
There was also a small black bear found inside a Catholic school in Eureka, Missouri this week. The school was out for summer and the bear became trapped and had to be tranquilized. Later tonight on Color 10, we'll actually hear from the Conservation Department more about why we are seeing an increase in black bears in urban communities in the state.
On to some good news. These graduates you see right here, they're one of a kind so far. They were the part of the Goodwill Excel Center's very first graduating class last night. 7 graduates received their high school diploma. The education at the Excel Center is free. One of yesterday's graduates is Elisa Hughes. She had to drop out of school 10 years ago because of a lower back injury. When she found out Excel offered free childcare, she was quick to sign up.
It was important to me. I kind of felt like having that part of my life that was just unfinished, I think could have affected my self-esteem long term, really. And it was just kind of a bucket list thing to me to prove that I could go back and do it.
About 500,000 people in Missouri older than 21 do not have a high school diploma. Goodwill hopes to reduce that number through its Excel Centers. Another location will open in Columbia this fall.
We are just getting started this morning for you on Daybreak. Our morning Money Watch report is up next.
KFC is thinking about adding an entree for vegetarians. We'll explain what that might be up next.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Lauren Barnes, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. This is Color 10 News Daybreak.